All right, so this is section 8.3, using slopes and intercepts, part 1. So you want to pause your video and write this down. So what we're going to do today is we are going to solve for the x and y intercepts of the line and then graph using the x and y intercepts. Okay, so to solve for the x-intercepts, we need to substitute 0 for y. So I'm going to solve for the x-intercept first, and that's just short for x-intercepts. So I'm going to substitute 0 for y. So 3x plus 4 times 0 equals 12. So whenever you take 0 times anything, you're going to get an answer of what?
0.
0. So that pretty much drops off. And I have 3x equals 12. So then how do I solve that? Divide both sides by 3. So x would equal 4. Okay, so that tells me that my x-intercept is 4. So I'm going to put a dot at 4 on the x-axis. So that would be right here. Okay, so now I need to solve for my y-intercepts. So in order to do that, I'm going to substitute 0 for x. So 3 times 0 plus 4y equals 12. Okay, so 3 times 0 would drop off and equal nothing, would be 0. So 4y equals 12. And then I divide both sides by 4. So y would equal 3. And then I'm going to put a point at 3 on my y-axis. So I'm going to go up 3 and put a point. So now I have 2 points. So what I'm going to do is draw a line through them and put arrows at the end. And that would be the graph of this equation without making an XY chart. Okay, number 2, we're going to do the same thing. So find the y-intercepts and the x-intercepts. So for the x-intercepts, I'm going to substitute 0 for y. So 4x minus 3 times 0 equals 12. So minus 3 times 0 would equal 0. So I'm going to have 4x equals 12. And then I have to divide both sides by 4. And I get an x-intercept of 3. So I need to put a point at 3. Okay, so for the y-intercept, I need to substitute 0 for x. So 4 times 0 minus 3y equals 12. So 4 times 0 equals 0, but I do need to carry down that negative, so it'll be negative 3y equals 12. And then I have to divide both sides by negative 3. So y would equal a negative 4. So instead of going up 4, I need to go down 4 on my y-axis. And then you're going to draw your line through it with arrows on each end. So this is another way to graph without having to make an XY chart, and we'll build on this again tomorrow. I want you guys to try number 3. Now these are going to be a little bit bigger of numbers, so I would suggest that you make each box worth 4. So I would make each box worth 4 on this one, so you can fit it on your graph. All right, so for the x-intercepts, I'm going to plug in 0 for y. So x minus 4 times 0 equals 16. So x would equal 16. And I'm going to put a point just 4 blocks over because I made each one worth 4. For my y-intercepts, 0 minus 4y equals 16. So that would be negative 4y equals 16. Divide by negative 4, y equals negative 4. So I'm going to put a point right here, negative 4. Draw my line through and connect them.
I got something.
What did you get?
I got 1 up and 4.
Maybe you forgot this negative sign right here. Let's make it negative. Because you should have it, your y-intercept is negative. Okay, so the very next thing we're going to talk about is called slope-intercept form. So that is y equals mx plus b. So m stands for the slope, which we've been working with for a little while now, and b stands for the y-intercept. So we've actually been calculating b. Like for example, in this problem, b is negative 4, the y-intercept. We've been calculating b so far in the problems. So what we're going to do is we're going to rearrange an equation to be in slope-intercept form, and then identify the slope and the intercept. So this is slope-intercept form, and here's our equation. So the first thing you need to check is y on the left side. Yes, so we don't need to do anything with y yet. And then look, is x on the right? Yes, and then there's a number beside it.
6.
So this looks like that form, slope-intercept form. Now, it doesn't always have to be a plus b. Sometimes your intercept's negative and you have a minus. So in this case, what is the number in front of x? What would really be there?
A 1.
A 1. There's just not a 1 written in. And then what is off to the right of x? Because that's your y-intercept.
-6.
A negative 6. So that's m is your slope and b is your y-intercept.
What would y be?
Y is we don't have a number for it. We would have to plug in a number for x to get it. So all we're identifying with this is m and b. Okay, so let's look at the next one. So we're trying to get this in slope-intercept form. So first of all, is y on the left? It is not.
Right.
So what we can do, since we need to basically get x on the right, y on the left, we could just write this flip-flops and do 5y equals 8x. So if you're flip-flopping everything, then it's okay to do that, but you can't just choose to flip-flop like one thing or the other. Okay, so the next thing we have to do is get y by itself. How would we get y by itself? Divide both sides by 5. Okay, so then we would have y equals, and can 8/5 be simplified? Don't make a mixed fraction.
5.
I would do the same thing. You can't flip it around. So can 8/5 be simplified not into a mixed fraction? No, so we're gonna leave it 8/5 x. Okay, so then we need to identify m and our intercept b. So what is the number in front of x?
8.
8/5. So that is our slope. And then what number is off to the right? Right here. Is there anything there?
Nothing.
Nothing is there, so that would be 0. That's a y-intercept of 0. And b is 0. Okay, number 6. So we're going to put it again in slope-intercept form. So is y on the left?
No.
Yes, so let's leave it alone. We need to move x over to the right. How would I move this 3x over to the right? Subtract it. So subtract 3x from both sides, and I'm going to put that in front. So 7y equals negative 3x. And then what sign is in front of the 9? Right here.
Equals.
Well, there's equals, but it would be a positive 9, so I'm gonna put a +9. Because when there's no sign there, right, like if I just write this number on the board, you guys all know that I'm talking about a +4, even if I don't actually write +4. So when there's no sign there, it's a positive. Okay, so now I need to get y by itself. How do I get y by itself?
5.
Divide everything by 7. So y equals, can -3/7 be simplified?
No.
So -3/7 x, and then +9/7. Okay, so what is my m and my b? Okay, m is -3/7 and b
9, 7.
is 9/7. Okay, number 7. So first step is y on the left.
No.
Yes, so I leave it alone. I need to move 2x over to the right.
Subtract.
So I subtract 2x. So y would equal -2x, and then what do I put? +3. Is y by itself? Yes, so I'm done. So m and b, I need to find. M is
Good.
-2, we don't put the x with it, and then b is 3. Okay,
Why would X be?
because we're just looking for the number of the slope, not the x. Like that tells us the rise of the run. Okay, I want you to pause your video and try number 8. All right, so for this problem, I would need to start by dividing both sides by 5. So y would equal 3/5 x. So my m is 3/5 and my b is 0. Okay. And then you need to pause your video and go through number 9. So on number 9, I start with y is on the left. So I need to move 4x over. So 3y equals -4x plus 9. And then I have to divide everything by 3. So one of these can actually be simplified. And you would write 9 divided by 3, which is just 3. So then my m is -4/3, and my b is 3. Okay, so for your homework assignment, you guys actually have some graphs. There are 8 graphs to do. So I have graph paper for you. So here's your homework assignment, and just so nobody is confused, here are the graphing problems. You need to graph 1 through 4 and 13 through 16. And I will pass out graph paper for you.
Hey, ma'am.